To record the project information in your project, you can go to Manage, and then go to Project Information. The nice thing about project information is that all the information you place here, you can use those information in your sheet, and you don't have to retype them. Okay? Your title block will be populated with the information you provide here. Okay? So let's say organization name, that could be your owner. So we'll place here Smith Corporation. Okay, manage project information. Okay, organization description, we don't have that information here, so that's okay. Building name, do we have a building name? We'll just say architecture office. Okay, and issue date, we'll just say today. So May, is it 6/17? Okay, project status, design phase. Okay, the owner is Smith Corporation. It's the same here, client owner. Project address, you click on this three-dot button, browser. You need to click that to be able to type on that box. Okay. Project name, well, architecture office. And you can place a project number. So just say A1 for now. Author's name, place your name, and click OK. The nice thing about placing the project information, like I said earlier, is that when you create a sheet, so let's create a sheet. Let's load a title block. Libraries, US metric, title block. So here, let's just use an A3 or A1. Let's use an A1. Okay. So right click on sheets, new sheet. Okay. And then go to libraries. Initially, you might be in the US Imperial as a default. Go to libraries and then go down to US metric, title block. Let's use an A1. Okay, so now these are title blocks created by Autodesk, so it will have the Autodesk logo here. So once you've opened a sheet, you can edit this, but what I want to show here is that you'd notice that this title block is now populated with the project information you have provided in the project information, manage project information button or command. Okay, so that's the nice thing about this. These are labels. Okay, so that's the sheet. If I'm going to place here, that's the current name. If I'm going to place here floor plans, I can rename this. So That could be my numbering A0, A101. That's okay. And then I'll just place here floor plans. Or any title for the sheet. And that will also be populated. So be careful with your naming convention, right? And of course, even the case of your text. You might want this to be all capitalized. Okay. Now, it's also nice when you're setting up your project information and your sheet to maybe bring in your site, right? So you have your site plan so that you know whether your sheet is big enough in terms of scale. So if I scale this to 1 to 200, okay, I can now go back to my sheet and check whether I have the right paper size. So click and drag that view, bring it in, okay, at 1 to 200, site development plan. My sheet is not big enough, so that's a way to decide whether you need a bigger sheet or a higher scale. So maybe for my, I think for the floor plan, this is big enough, right? At 1 to 100, right? So at 1 to 100, this floor, the size of this sheet is big enough to show my building, but for my site plan, I might need to use a larger number. So I can say 1 to 500, or I can customize this to show 1 to 300, making sure you have the display name and the ratio properly coordinated. So 1 to 300 is, I think, good enough. For my site development plan. Okay, so although I did say floor plans here, so I can check again, double click inside and say 1 to 100, and that looks seem to be okay. Okay.